guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through my 5 favourite palettes that I have acquired in 2019. I'm currently filming this on the 29th of December, so depending on how fast I can edit this, it's either going to be my last video of 2019 or my first video of 2020. So yeah, hopefully I can get it up before the end of the year. So I was watching a video by that girl Shay, and she did a tag that was if I could only have 10 palettes forever, and that was originally started by Annette's Makeup Corner, so I will try to remember to link both of those down below because I'm really bad at that. And I really wanted to get involved in that, and that's when I realised that out of all my palettes, I could probably live without most of them. Like, I don't have that many that I love so much and want to use all the time, but I did manage to think of 5 that I really like, and all of them were acquired this year. They are not all releases from this year. I think only one of them isn't. They've just been the ones that have really stood out for me this year. So yeah, in no particular order, let's jump into my current 5 favourite palettes then. So I'm going to start off with the palette that I purchased most recently out of the 5. It's the Revolution Forever Flawless Allure palette. I think I reviewed this one on my channel in November, so it is quite recent, and you're probably thinking, how could this be a favourite when you've only had it for 2 months? But guys, it's just, I mean, look at it. Look how pretty it is. This isn't one that I've used so much on my Instagram since doing my review, but in real life, I use this one all the time. I think it's the only palette that I've used outside of YouTube and Instagram since I bought it. It's just so good. I don't wear makeup to work every day because a lot of the time I don't have the time, but when I do, this is the one that I reach for. Whenever we've gone out or we've gone to see family or anything like that, I've gone with this palette. It's got a really nice amount of mattes and a nice variety of dark to light shades. There's even a beige that is actually my skin tone. I really like this one to diffuse the blend around my eyes and just soften everything up. If you are as pale as me, it's just absolutely perfect for that. But then you also have metallic shades, and then you've got this amazing glitter formula, which is, it's just my favourite. Please ignore the lipstick on my fingers. They're just so nice. You can use them over the top of other shades. You can use them by themselves. I just think this palette just kind of has everything you need. I think in my review I did say that I wished it had like an even darker shade. Sometimes I do feel like that's missing, but overall I think this is nice. I think it will suit most skin colours. It works great for someone who is super pale like me. If you are really dark, then maybe on that end the colours don't go dark enough for you. Other than that, this is a £10 palette, and I don't really see myself stopping reaching for it anytime soon. I'm going to stay in the neutrals, but this time I'm going to go for the most expensive palette of the lot. This is the Viseart Neutral Matte 01. It's £65. It's not a very big palette, I will admit. It's literally the size of my hand. But guys, it's so worth it. It really is. Viseart is a brand that whenever I'd ask for makeup recommendations in Facebook groups, someone would always jump on and go, you really need to try Viseart, it's amazing. And I would just sit there like, no, I can't afford that. And I still can't afford that. I did actually receive this in PR from Feel Unique, and I think I pretty much cried when I did because I just couldn't believe it. I just think it's completely worth the price. These are some of the best eyeshadows I have ever tried. Literally just the best formula. They will do all of the work for you. Like, you don't have to do anything. If you're someone who likes to work from your darkest shades to your lightest shades, it will work beautifully. If you prefer going from your lighter shades to your darker shades, they layer amazingly. So whichever way you like using your eyeshadows, they're just amazing. The range of colours is great. I mean, I use this so much over the summer. Again, more in real life than on Instagram. I was using it for job interviews. I had it on my eyes for my friend's wedding. I forget there's a grey in here as well, and I always complain I don't have a grey eyeshadow. I haven't used this recently because I did that thing where I put it away in a different spot to all of my palettes, and then one day I was like, I've not seen this in ages, where has it gone? So now that it is out, I am going to be using this so much. It's just so good for everything. It doesn't have any shimmers. I don't care. It's so compact. If I am going somewhere and I know that I want to take some shimmers, then I will take a tiny pot of Peaches and Cream pigment with me. Like, that's just not going to take up any space. Would I go out and spend £65 on another one of these tomorrow? No, because I can't afford it. I don't have that kind of money at the moment. But if I could afford it, I would. If I decided tomorrow that I was going to do freelance makeup and I was setting up my kit and I had the budget for it, I would go out and I would buy probably most of these 12 pan palettes because the quality is great. I think they're really well curated, and also just the fact that they're so compact. They are literally the size of a hand, so they're just really, really practical. I really, really love this, and if you can afford this, definitely give it a go. When it comes to 2019, I feel like we had so many rainbow palettes, but it was also really the year where we had so many color curated palettes. Like, I feel like Huda had kind of started doing that already with all her Obsessions palettes, but then I feel like everyone else jumped on it, like Colourpop. This was Colourpop's year. Colourpop did not want to stop with the curated palettes, but we had other brands doing it, and one of those was Morphe, and this is really annoying to open because the plastic sheet is gonna fall out, and I don't like it when you have a plastic sheet with the names on it. But there we go. Oh, look at how beautiful she is. I can barely fit in next to her. This is the Morphe 39S. I don't think I've ever been as excited for a Morphe product as I was with this palette. I haven't been this excited about any other of their palettes since then. Apart from some Morphe brushes, I haven't bought any makeup from Morphe this year. I mean, I didn't even buy this. This was a lovely gift from my boyfriend who took pity on me when we were out shopping and I was having to spend loads of money on more necessary things, and I wanted this for my birthday, and we were in the Morphe store and he just bought it for me and was really nice. I could barely bring myself to use it. It's so beautiful. Even though it's a purple palette, you just have such a great mix of colours. Half of the palette is cool toned, but we've also got some greys, some silver, and then this side still has those warm tones, but they're pinks. We do have some browns as well, so you do have a lot going on in this palette, not just purples. I mean, the size is ridiculous and unpractical, but these topper shades in the middle, you see them? This is the weirdest angle. Look at this purple. Holding this palette is actually hurting my hand, and whenever I use it, it literally takes up my whole desk. So in terms of practicality, Morphe palettes are not the one, and doing the mini James Charles palette was a really good move on their part, and I feel like they should do it with more of them just to make everyone's life easier. I am never gonna finish this palette. No one's ever gonna finish a Morphe palette, let's face it. But it's just so gorgeous. The formula is lovely. It's that more recent formula, and whenever you see me using purple on my Instagram, it's probably come from here. It's just so pretty. Sorry, I just can't stop staring at it. If I can marry a palette, it'll be this one. I'm gonna stop talking about how much I love this palette now. Literally, the biggest problem for me is this sheet. But yeah, I love this. Also, price, my god. Can you tell how organised I am at doing charity videos? I'm not. This palette is £35, and I think that is entirely worth it. First of all, you're getting a huge number of shades, and I like getting my money's worth, or I guess my boyfriend's money's worth. And the quality is there, so I would also spend £35 of my own money on this. If you haven't got it already and you love purples and you love pinks, would you guys want to see a comparison with the Revolution colour book that they did? That could be interesting. I feel like that would be good. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Let me know. I don't know where to put this now because it's so big. We're going to carry on with the colour trend, and my next palette is another one from Revolution. Look at how pretty it is though. And this isn't an original one from them. This is the Forever Flawless Eyes palette, and it was heavily inspired by the Blue Blood palette. Blue and purple. I mean, yeah, blue. You can tell I'm wearing blue right now. I love blue. Most of my wardrobe was blue until I started working on a makeup counter, so when the Jeffree palette came out, I really wanted it. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it because we were moving house and I was trying to be good and not spend all my money on makeup. So when Revolution announced this, I just couldn't not do it. In fact, I ordered this while we were moving house, literally while we were in the van driving to our new house. I think the formula of some shadows in this isn't as good as the formula in the Allure palette, so I feel like within the collection, Revolution have improved on their quality, which I am never gonna complain about. Brilliant. If you want to improve your formula, absolutely. I reviewed this on my channel, and then I think all the looks on my page for about a month were just all using this palette. If I need some blues, I'm gonna go into this palette. Some of these shimmers. This silver is by far the best silver that I own. The one color that kind of lets me down, I feel, is the deepest blue, but you can work with it. You can make it work. You can use some pencil underneath. I mean, for £10, just such a great color scheme. Who would have thought that I'd be including 2 Revolution palettes in this? I didn't. This ice palette is, I mean, it is what dreams are made of, in my opinion. We've got one more palette left to discuss, but before talking about it, I want to give an honorary mention to a palette that I didn't buy this year. But when I was planning this, I went back on my Instagram and I looked back through all of my photos from this year, and I actually realized that most of these palettes were bought like in the second half of this year. But before that, I was pretty much using one palette exclusively. This classic from Morphe, the 35B. If you started doing makeup probably before like a year and a half ago, you probably had this, because for a while this was the main rainbow palette that was out on the market. The only other one that I can really think of was the Viseart one, and again, I didn't have £65 to spend on a Viseart rainbow palette, although I've heard amazing things about it. But this one retails for £24. It is discontinued, but is still available on Morphe in the UK, and I think Boots as well, and possibly other places. I don't know if they just have like loads of stock left. Literally everyone had this, and then they discontinued it and they made way for the James Charles palette. And I want to say the Carnival palette came out around the same time, and people kind of started leaving this behind. And then this year we just had like all the rainbow palettes, just so many of them. The quality isn't that great. A lot of the shades are quite chalky. Maybe not. I just feel like they take a little bit of work. There we go. So you can see that green there. That green isn't very nice, but you can make it work. If you use this over a wet base like the P. Louise base, you can get great results. And I use this for pretty much most of my looks for the first half of this year. If you are just getting into makeup and you want a rainbow palette, but you don't want to spend too much money on it, you just want something cheap that you don't have to worry about, that you can kind of trash. It has everything that you need in there. It's got the whole rainbow, it's got a neon pink, it will stain your eyes. It has a black, it has a white, it has some beiges. The white, pretty terrible, I will say, but it has got everything that you need. It's one of the cheaper rainbow palettes out there, and sometimes I still reach for it because sometimes I feel like it's unloved and I just want to give it a little bit of love. But yeah, nostalgia. So my honourable mention for the 35B, which was replaced in August, I want to say. This is the Me, Myself and Mitchell palette in collaboration with Beauty Bay. I'm going to take the mirror out. Mine is starting to look like a bit of a mess. Those shimmer eyeshadows get absolutely everywhere, but just look at it. It just felt like it was time for me to graduate from the 35B, and this was a pretty good candidate for replacement, I would say. This is a pressed pigment palette, and the shades are, they're good. They're really, 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 really good. The best description that I saw was "make me up miss her." I can't remember her exact words. In her review, she basically said that you can tell it's a palette that is made by a makeup artist with other makeup artists in mind. I mean, first of all, it's compact. Again, I like a compact palette. I don't want it to take up too much space, and I can definitely see the appeal in foldable palettes because it just means that reduction in the space that it takes up. What I really like about it is it has a removable divider, which is a mirror. I mean, mine is getting pretty dirty and I never use it, but if I was traveling with this palette, it would be really, really useful. The selection of colors is just fantastic. There's like a dark green and a light green, there's a dark blue and a light blue. You have your lighter shades, your darker shades. It's just really, really easy to work with. Unless it's for a specific review and I'm using a specific palette, I normally reach for this. The black, where is it? This black is so good. Like, this is one of the best blacks that I have. One complaint that I would have with this palette, it doesn't have a white, and that kind of disappoints me. It looks like it does, because that definitely looks like a white, but it's a shimmer. We'll say the shimmer's not my favourite, but I can live with it because they only make up 8 shades in the palette and the rest is fantastic. When the shimmers aren't great and they make up like half of the palette, then I feel like I've wasted my money. This lilac, I love that. That's probably one of the best lilacs I've had in a palette. They're really nice to work with. It's a great selection of colours. I keep reaching for it. If you already have a load of rainbow palettes, you don't need another one. Ultimately, they're not going to do that many different things unless one of them is completely revolutionary. But if you are finishing up your Morphe 35B and you want to graduate to another one, this is a fantastic option and I really, really like it and recommend it. My arms hurt from holding up the palettes now. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I've only been filming for 28 minutes, so I think I can get this one edited before the end of the year. So hopefully this will be my last video of 2019 and I hope you like it. Before finishing up, I just want to let you guys know that I will be doing a no buy throughout January. Recently I've been spending a lot of money on makeup and my collection has just started to grow and is full of products that I just need to use up. So that is mainly what I'm going to be focusing on next month. So I'll do things like MT's videos. I do also have products that I've already bought that I need to review. And I also plan on putting up posts on my Instagram stories and getting you guys to vote on which palettes I use for looks so that hopefully I can use some palettes that maybe I haven't gone to in a while. So definitely give me a follow on Instagram if you want to get involved. I'll have it linked down below. If you enjoyed today's video, then do as always, please give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it and what content you'd like to see from me next year. And of course, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on my next video. And I'll see you guys in 2020. Bye guys!